Good morning and welcome to the big story right here on the BDTV Breakfast Show. My name is Elizabeth Musa, and today we're turning our lens on a topic that is as emotional as it is economic: the role of Nigerians in the diaspora in driving homegrown growth through investment. Every year, billions of dollars flow into Nigeria through remittances, but how much of that is truly being invested in ways that build wealth, creates jobs, and strengthens the economy? As the Naira faces pressure and local opportunities evolve, could this be the perfect time for Nigerians abroad to turn sentiment into strategy? Well, joining me to unpack this conversation this morning is Adeyemi Adenuga, is an associate for research and portfolio management at ZedCrest Wealth, which is a leading investment management firm helping clients make smarter financial decisions both locally and globally. Welcome to the show, Adeyemi.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you with us
Nice
this
to be
morning.
here.
Let's begin really from a broad lens. What's your overall assessment of how much the Nigerian diaspora contributes economically beyond remittances, and how do these inflows shape our financial landscape?
Okay, great. Thank you for having me again. So our financial landscape, over the last few years, we've seen how that an increasing number of Nigerians moving away from Nigerians to other countries, and an hike in the diasporas. And what this means for us in Nigeria is it creates an opportunity for us to get more remittances. Now, beyond the remittances, we've seen how that these individuals have also come back to invest in the Nigerian economy. First, through investments in the real estate sector, also in the capital market, and also some venture investing also. On the other side, the major things that have also, that these actions have actually contributed to our economy is first, how we see that it has helped to improve foreign remittances in the economy and improve the stability of our FX market. We've also seen how that has also helped liquidity in the consumer goods sectors, and makes it easier for individuals to have access to funding. And finally, we also see how that, this has also helped private venture financing also. And then, we've seen how that different venture capitalists have actually raised funds in the market recently. And this is coming on the back of, different individuals that have these funds and are willing to invest in the Nigerian economy.
Right. And we see many Nigerians abroad want to invest, but often don't know where to start. From your experience, what are some of the main barriers that are stopping diaspora Nigerians from actively investing back home?
Okay, there are numerous barriers, right? And just to start with, I think the first barrier would be information asymmetry. And while I would call that information asymmetry is because, we have a lot of investment opportunities here in Nigeria, right? But majority of Nigerians abroad are not even aware of this, right? There's that part of them not being aware of the information or the right instruments to actually invest in. On the other side also, there's also the part of trust also. We have a number of Nigerians in diaspora that their trust in the past have actually been defiled. And on the back of that, they are actually now they don't trust the system to actually invest their funds in it. But now we are seeing improved regulatory overview over that. Finally, we also see how that, some of them are also after the transaction cost, which they seem to be relatively high as compared to the other markets, right? So those are the major barriers that Nigerians abroad are currently facing. But in recent times, we're beginning to see different policies and different shifts that are changing these narratives and making it easier for Nigerians abroad to be able to invest in the Nigerian economy.
Right. And can you give us a little, insight on the difference between sending money home and investing back home, and why this distinction actually matters now more than ever? Because you could see Nigerians who would say, oh, but I send money home, so I'm giving back to the economy, or I'm investing in the economy. But I'm sure that from your perspective as as investment working in the investment space, you definitely, there could be a distinction. So could you give us the difference between both of them?
Okay. For sending money home, it's more of supporting living expenses and also maybe short-term needs of your loved ones here in Nigeria, right? But on the other side, investing in Nigeria is more of an intentional activity, and it's always futuristic. What this means is that you are making your funds work for you. You are investing in the economy, active investments in the economy that would yield return for you over a period of time. So on the other side, the first one, which is, sending funds to Nigeria, is more of a short-term obligation or something that just have to do with meeting some short-term needs, right? while on the other hand, the one that has to do with investing means that you have an active investment in Nigeria, be it in the capital market, be it in real estate, be it in different form of investments in the Nigerian economy. So that's basically what it means. And I mean, I would advise, or I would say that, I mean, investing in the Nigerian economy is a more preferred option. While I understand that, I mean, sending funds to Nigeria it's an important part because many of these individuals have loved one in the economy, but basically investing is the major way they can actually reap from this economy.
And in terms of opportunities, where do you see some of the most promising investment channels right now? Is it real estate? Is it capital markets? Is it private ventures? Where are you seeing some of the promising investment channels?
Okay, great. I mean, there are diverse investment opportunities in the Nigerian economy, but I mean, before we even go into what the investment opportunities are, it's important that these individuals first assess what their risk appetite is like. And so first, you have to know what you are interested in, what your risk appetite is like. Are you able to take enough of risks? Are you able to juggle the market? And I mean, you have a little bit of appetite to at least lose, or maybe you have the possibility of you losing, maybe a slight of, you have a tolerance to risks, basically. And then if that comes into play and you have that possibility in place, it means that you can take more risks. So you can look into high risk investments, right? But on the other hand, for conservative individuals that want to preserve their capital and also just want to earn steady returns on their capital, they can also look into the capital markets, right? Talking about investing in treasury bills in Nigerian markets, investing in Eurobonds, investing in FGM bonds and the like. So those are different investment opportunities for individuals in the market.
And what about with the inflation, the forex volatility, policy shift, and all of that? Trust and transparency we see has become a big issue. So how can financial institutions, like ZedCrest Wealth, bridge that confidence gap for diaspora investors?
Okay. I mean, while we see that inflation, FX volatility, and I mean the general economic climate in the last year was not very favorable to the Nigerian economy, right? But recently we are seeing an improvement in that matter, right? So first we see how that inflation has trended downward over the last 6 months. We see inflation currently at 20%, although it still remains significantly high when you compare it to the inflation at other SSA countries. On the other side also, I mean, for the foreign exchange also, we've seen relative stability in the FX market. We see how that, I mean, at the close of last year, we saw the Naira trading against the dollar at about a 1,700 to 1,600 levels. But currently, we are seeing it trading around 1,500, 1,450. So what this means is that, I mean, we are seeing a climate or a calmer climate in the Nigerian economy in that regards. But for us at ZedCrest, as I said earlier, one of the major reasons why individuals don't even know what to invest in this economy is because of, first, they don't even know where to invest in. So first, one of our priorities at ZedCrest is to improve financial literacy for individuals. So through our different financial literacy programs, we engage in financial literacy programs, speak with individuals in the Nigerian economy and also outside the Nigerian economy to sensitize them on the different investment. Also for us at ZedCrest, we have also adopted technology, right, through the use of our mobile application. So our mobile application is not just accessible here in Nigeria, it's accessible to Nigerians abroad. And it makes it easier for them to also monitor their investments themselves through the mobile application. And finally, I mean, one of the things we also do is our products and our personalized wealth management. So we have wealth managers on our team that actually reach out to you one-on-one and you discuss the kind of investment opportunities, your risk appetite and all. So that's way you are able to actually integrate very well into the market and you understand what you are investing in very well.
And for Nigerians abroad, which are earning in foreign currency, what are some of the smart strategies that you would suggest for hedging against Naira depreciation while still investing locally?
Okay, so I mean, hedging is a very important task for any individual. I mean, if you're looking to invest in another economy and your major source of income is in the dollar, what that means is that you need to also think about hedging, right? But I mean, from a research and portfolio management point of view, for the year 2025, the general expectations are that Naira assets would outperform dollar assets when it comes to returns, right? So what this means is that if you're investing in Naira, you tend to get more than when you are investing in dollar. And this is basically because of the exchange rate dynamics. And now we are seeing improvements in the exchange rate market. So basically, for individuals that are looking to hedge, a good way for you to hedge is first, understand your risk appetite first, then have a clear distinction between what you want, a clear distinction in terms of what you want, right? And that's where you can actually diversify your portfolio. So you have a mix of Naira assets on your portfolio and a mix of dollar assets on your portfolio. So that's where you are able to get the best return while still hedging against the possibility of a downside in the exchange rate. Also, I mean, there's also the part of also buying FX forwards too. So these are contracts that helps you to repurchase foreign exchange in the future at a particular price. So that makes it easier for individuals in that or that are looking to also hedge their currencies in that light in their investments, basically.
Fantastic, Adeyemi. But let's talk about government policies, reforms, and whatnot. Do you think that the current government reforms and policies, do you think they're creating a more enabling environment for diaspora investment, or are we still far from that ideal?
I mean, we've seen significant improvements in the Nigerian economy, right? So first, from the CBN, we've seen the CBN bring in different policies to encourage diaspora remittances into the Nigerian economy. Earlier this year, we saw how that CBN raised rates significantly, and I mean, that's improved foreign portfolio investors into the Nigerian economy. One of the things that we see, and basically I would say yes, I mean, the regulatory oversight is becoming better and making it easier for individuals to invest in the Nigerian economy. First, we saw how that the CBN introduced something known as the non-resident bank verification number.
Right.
What this is just supposed to do is to help individuals outside the Nigerian economy to integrate well with the Nigerian economy while still, I mean, there's regulatory oversight over what they are doing, basically. Also, there's also something that the CBN introduced last year, which was known as the electronic foreign exchange monitoring system, right? And we had it through the BMatch system. It's just a pairing system where the CBN is able to regulate or check the two-way codes for the foreign exchange market. And that way, they're able to also control the nature at which or how fast our currency is volatile. And I mean, with this in place, there might be less concerns for hedging. I mean, for individuals that are looking to actually invest in the Nigerian economy. Also, we've also seen improved commitment from the government through the setup of different diaspora funds. And also, sometimes earlier this year, we saw that the government even issued a bond specifically for diasporas, for Nigerians in diaspora. So basically, this is just, just to encourage individuals to invest in the Nigerian economy. Also, we've also seen, recently, sometimes this week, we saw how that the Nigerian government began, or the CBN actually issued a circular around regulation of the fixed income market, right? And what this means is that it becomes easier, or they make it easier for individuals to come into that market. And there's also more regulatory oversight over that market. And given the impact of the bond market, the treasury bills market on liquidity in the system, it's important that the government is even coming into place to actually do this. I mean, finally, it's also a win-win situation, right? If you look at US Treasuries, for instance, if you are looking to invest in US Treasuries currently, say, for instance, the 10-year US Treasuries, they're likely going to be getting a yield of around 4.1%, 4.2% currently, right? But if you come to the Nigerian economy, given the relative stability in the FX market, right, and also the possibility of appreciation in the currency over time, and looking at the returns that we have in our domestic instruments, talking about our bonds, our treasury bills, bonds are currently trading at around 16%, 17%, treasury bills also around range bound 16%, 17%, 18% yield, right? And I mean, if you come to invest in the Nigerian economy with that, what that means for you is that you're actually getting more opportunities and you are earning alpha over what you would invest or what you would get if you invest over there abroad. So basically, that's just a numerous number of ways through which the Nigerian government have actually been bringing in different reforms to actually encourage Nigerians outside the country to actually invest in the economy.
All right, and now that we've spoken about government reforms, policies, and whatnot, we also have the emotional side. You know, many people in the diaspora have mixed feelings about investing back home due to past disappointments, maybe even losses. How can they approach this with fresh confidence and better due diligence?
Okay, so as I would always say, money is an emotional matter, right? And when it comes to money, individuals are sometimes very emotional when it comes to it. So first thing I would advise anyone or any individual that has had one of their trust maybe maybe their trusts were not fully fulfilled in the time past, right? One thing I can always say is that first you have to acknowledge that that is in the past, right? Acknowledge this and move on, right? Now, moving on now means that you now understand how to play safe in the market. So first, when you are investing, first thing you have to look out for is an asset management company, a bank, a microfinance bank, a fintech company. One of the things you have to do is to check for the regulators. Are they duly registered with the Securities Exchange Commission? Are they duly registered with CBN? Are they duly registered with two place? On the other side, also, I mean, we're also seeing improvements in the Nigerian economy. How that, I mean, recently we saw news out that now Nigeria is likely going to exit the grey list in this year, 2025. And what this means is that, I mean, there is more regulatory oversight in terms of compliance to anti-money laundering and all that. So what that means, I mean, for you that you're coming to invest now is that it's a more safer climate for you. So what you just have to do is first acknowledge that, I mean, that is in the past. And then moving on now, you take your little steps while watching the kind of houses that you relate with. Watch our SEC websites to verify this information. You can go there, search, and they have the list of asset managers there. You can go to the CBN website to check the list of banks, and you can also check the list of microfinance banks if you're looking to deal with a microfinance bank or something. So basically, those are the different ways you can actually navigate the markets now. Be sure to check for regulatory oversight in any organization that you are looking to invest in or any instrument you are looking to invest in.
And finally, let's talk about technology for a bit. FinTech itself, how is it simplifying access for diaspora Nigerians to invest securely in Nigerian assets?
Okay. So, I mean, we've seen a lot of fintechs come into play in recent years. I mean, just to improve flow and easy access to the markets for Nigerians in diaspora, right? So recently what we're seeing now is improved compliance, right? I spoke earlier about how Nigeria is looking to exit the grey list in 2025. And I mean, what this just means for us is that it makes it's more safe for you to move your funds around without the fears of maybe your funds are just going to go grounded somewhere, or maybe the authorities or the regulatory authorities is going to hold your funds down. As much as you are dealing on illegal grounds, I mean, you don't have any fears of that. And so what we are seeing now is that, I mean, these different fintech companies are helping individuals outside Nigeria to actually bring in their assets or also invest in the Nigerian economy. And we're seeing improved compliance, improved compliance from these fintech companies, which is also helping the process for individuals that are looking to invest in the Nigerian economy.
And finally, if you were to give one piece of advice to a Nigerian professional living abroad who wants to make their money work for both themselves and for the country, what would that be?
Okay, I mean, to start with, I mean, the first thing is you have to have because the financial market is driven by clear goals, right? For any individual that is looking to invest in the Nigerian market first, or Nigerians abroad that are looking to invest, the first thing you have to do is you have to have a clear goal, right? You set your goal on what you intend to achieve in the Nigerian market, right? How much am I looking to invest over this period? What kind of assets am I looking at? So what is my risk appetite? You check for all those things before you proceed. Then the next thing is you look for a trusted financial partner. By a financial partner, I mean maybe an asset management company or an investment app that you can always use. Now, when checking for this, it's important that you're sure or you check for their regulatory oversight. I mean, there are a number of fintech companies outside there. Some of them are not regulated by the SEC. Some of them are not regulated by the NDIC. Some of them are not regulated by the CBN. So the first thing you want to do is to check for regulations, right? When you pick a trusted financial partner, you check for regulations. And finally, you take your steps bit by bit. There are diverse investment opportunities for individuals that are looking to invest in the Nigerian economy. We have different mutual funds. I mean, if you're not willing to take the risk of converting your dollars into Naira, you can always invest in dollar also. So we have Nigeria's Eurobonds. We have a number of Eurobonds giving yields as high as 7%, 8%, and also up to 10%. So you can also invest in Nigeria's Eurobonds, right? And on the other side, I mean, given the limited access to Eurobonds, the fact that you need a minimum of $200,000 before you can purchase Eurobonds. On the other side, what you can do is to invest in dollar funds. So, dollar funds give you the opportunity, or you can get the same returns that you get from Eurobonds through dollar funds, and even better,
Right.
basically. So, what you can do is also take those steps bit by bit and first assess your goal, clarify what you want, and then step by step, you take the step to actually invest bit by bit in the Nigerian economy.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Adeyemi Adenuga, Associate Research and Portfolio Management at ZedCrest. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.
This has been The Big Story right here on the BDTV Breakfast Show. Up next is Social Listening. Do stay with us.